Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, this is the greatest time of the day. From the center of the universe, New York City, it's the main event you've been waiting for. It's time to go in the cage with Cyclone.
Look who's back! 50! Yay, me! 50 shows and I'm still freaking alive. Who would have guessed? It's like incredible. I reached 50 and wow. So, Kerry Stellar.
Honored to be here for your 50th show.
In the Girls Corner.
Yes.
MMAUK.net.
Yes.
Two more highly recognizable places.
Existence Plus magazine. My
See,
friend
I
will
just
flip out if I don't say it.
Poor me.
Like, why'd you not say anything?
Poor me. Nothing. I'm just
No
here.
poor
I'm
me's.
just.
We don't do poor me's. No ifs, ands, or buts.
So for the fireworks display, for that quick little message, I want to thank John James, my admin on Psyche Prod's page. I appreciate you, John. And by the way, much later on, I'm going to tell you something now. Our raffle prize is going to be specifically special because celebrating, the return of Cobra Kai. That's Three Stooges, but you get the idea. And only 3 of you entered the raffle, so everybody else, Susan, Brian, Harry, you're all freaking making me angry. Greg, none of you guys entered. William, you guys lost out on a huge prize that's up for grabs, but that's going to be much, much later, towards the end of the show.
Much later.
You want to give some more plugs?
Okay. Well, Clean Slate Laser Tattoo Removal hooked me up today. Did a good 3/4 of my arm. Nah, maybe a quarter of it because I don't have my whole arm done. So shout out to them for giving me a quick and somewhat painless tattoo removal experience, efficiently and clean, over at Afterlife Tattoo Studio in Huntington on Jericho Turnpike. Thank you guys very much for that. I truly appreciate it. Mary over there is amazing, Vanessa and Victoria. So go check them out. They're great. I was just there this afternoon getting my arm burned off. Not really burned off. It's not that bad. It doesn't tickle, but it's not that bad.
I don't know if you want to say burn to a Jew.
Well,
I'm
listen,
taking it to a...
it's a word. You take it into whatever context you want.
Okay, so we're going to take a quick break right off the top because we got a lot of MMA to talk about. Obviously, we got some games later on. And we're going to start off with some boxing. But I want to remind all you guys, check out Psyche Prods on Facebook. CycloneComedy.com. No, it's this side. I don't know what side I put the stickers on anymore.
It's on one of them.
Right? CycloneComedy.com. Now you guys can read it as you're watching me. Okay, Lisa, so, I'm happy you watched Cobra Kai, but, you could have sent in a question, right? Obviously, check out effectiveaggression.com. And we're going to talk some sweet science, my first love, when we come back right after this.
This is Frank Edgar.
This is the Barbarian Tim Bosch.
I'm World Series of Fighting undefeated lightweight champion Justin Gaethje.
MMA legend, UFC Hall of Famer, Iceman. Check it out. If you got the guts, step in the cage with Cyclone.
All right, so ding, ding, ding. Let's talk some boxing. You a big fan of the Sweet Science?
I used to be a long time ago, but with as many MMA fights and jiu-jitsu tournaments and stuff that I have to watch, it's very actually hard for me to fit boxing in there. It's like MMA is enough for me.
Try watching one, and I think I'm the only person in America that watches Fights Night Global from Russia.
Nice.
Right? I am
Nice.
I'm like the only. It's depressing on their views.
It shouldn't be depressing.
It really is, because I'll bring up like these Russian names to people and they're like, who? I'll do the same thing from one championship fighters and they're like, who?
Yeah.
Who? I'm like,
Yeah.
guys, trust me, one championship
It's like
is
going to be big with their
My-
Turner Network television deal. Shoot.
my prediction. They are coming to the States.
They are coming to the States. Prediction. You don't need to predict it. It's happening. They inked a big deal with TNT, Turner Network Television, and that means they're coming to the United States. They did a big press conference in California that I was invited to. MMA UK got a really nice invite, and my editor, Peter, shout out, you're awesome. He messages me and he's like, yo, how far is LA from you? I'm like, well, it's across the country. Like, how far is it? Pretty freaking far, man. We've had quite a few. Who is it that goes over there? Lewis. He goes over to 1FC and they fly him over there and everything. He covers it for MMA UK, which is awesome. That's pretty
Jason,
incredible.
Bonehead Picks. Listen, how about you guys send me somewhere? At this point, I don't care where you send me. Just send me somewhere. Please. I can't get no. I get it. I'm a fatter version of Charlie Brown. All right, it is what it is. But Mikey Garcia has decided to vacate his WBC lightweight title.
Okay.
And he said he's going up to 147. Might make a stop at 140 first. See, at least in boxing, it's like every 5 pounds in another division.
Mm-hmm. UFC, there's like
It's a
MMA is a different ball game. Yeah.
I think MMA should be every 10 pounds.
Yeah.
Hey, Rudy, you know what? How about I send you somewhere? All right, Rudy? Huh?
Where does he want to go? Where does Rudy want to go?
I don't know where Rudy wants to go, but I'll tell you, there's a couple places I'd like to send Mr. Rudy Asher myself. Rudy, all right? Anyway, so he's going to do it the smart way, sort of like what like what Dustin Poirier did, going from featherweight to lightweight.
Okay.
Take some time. Mikey Garcia said he's going to take his time, build his body up.
Okay. Good way
Because
to do
he
it.
knows it's not going to translate up a division. But he's already said straight up he doesn't want any part of Lomachenko.
Okay.
Guess a smart move because Lomachenko is the pound for pound king. Arguably, even though it's a dumb argument, Loma's the
Love
best.
that, arguably.
But he said if he goes up to 147, he wants to do a title shot right off the bat.
Okay.
You know, because if it doesn't make dollars, it doesn't make sense.
Absolutely. And people should start calling their shots more often, but at least, not arrogantly. I'd prefer. I see some people that don't, shouldn't be calling their shots like that. But, I mean, there's something to be said for going after what you want and what you think you deserve, regardless if you do or not.
I think on a couple of issues off the record, I'm going to start calling. Listen, look at this. I might as well. I got absolutely nothing to lose.
So are you going to...
I mean, not now.
Damn you! I was hoping. Damn it!
I'm not gonna start. I'm not gonna start a motherfucker.
Cyclone wants a fight.
I'm not gonna start East Coast, West Coast.
Cyclone wants a fight.
I might turn up some Brooklyn heat on some people out here on Long Island.
Let me tell you something. I might be a pretty little girl, but I'm from Huntington Station, and I could get ghetto like the rest of everybody else. So I understand where you're coming from.
And
I really am.
He said that he might want to, take on Sean Porter, but Sean Porter is now confirmed to take on Errol Spence. In other words, Sean Porter just basically wants to give Errol his title because there's a better chance of me winning Sexiest Man of the Year than Sean Porter ever beating Errol Spence. And we know I'm never winning Sexiest Man of the Year.
Don't lie.
Yeah, we both know. Okay, if we can put up back here Beauty and the Beast, we know who the Beauty is and who the Beast is, all right?
Yes, but maybe if you got a bunch of beasts together and you had like a beast contest of like who was the
I'd still be the worst beast. I can't even win a beast contest.
Yeah. Well, if you talk like that, you never will. Facts. You can't refute that. If you talk like that, you're never gonna win one.
Just for the record, when people tell me to stop being negative, I'm like, I can't help myself. It's my blood type.
No, it's because you've trained yourself to think a certain way.
Oh,
Absolutely. No, it's got nothing to do with that. People, if they change their thought process, and like if you have a bad thought or negative thought coming up, and you really like make a conscious effort to change that, you see how dramatically your life will change.
You sound like two people by the audio board right now.
What?
You sound like those two. You sound like
I'm a very spiritual person, so that's probably where it comes from. I know that my fellow people in there are as well. Oddly enough, I watch Joel Osteen or listen to him all the time on XM radio. He's possibly one of my favorite. I figure this way, right? I can listen to garbage and people that like just annoy me and I get mad. Like music I used to enjoy, and like I found myself getting really angry all the time, and I would watch Criminal Minds. I'm like, why am I pissed off? Why am I so mad? Because I'm watching angry stuff. I'm listening to angry stuff. So I'm a much happier person listening to Joel Osteen and just driving around. I'm on my merry way, happy. Traffic don't bother me.
All I watch is cooking shows.
I watch cooking. 664.
How is this not?
664, the Food Network is my favorite channel. I have now started, literally everything in my house is homemade. Everything is a scratch. I do not use nothing out of a box, no garbage, no nothing. Everything is, and I lost 5 pounds doing it that way, so.
I gained 20 doing the same exact thing. In fairness, just on a cooking note,
Sorry.
No problem.
Sorry.
I said I was not eating. I was going to do one of these no bread, no cheese things for a while.
Yeah.
And I realized I broke that as I was eating a pie. I'm like,
it's very hard to do. What you need to do is control what you're eating, watch your portions, because portions are absolutely huge, and mix in some vegetables. They're not bad, and especially if you make stuff taste good, take notes on that Food Network that you're watching, because you can make a really healthy thing taste fantastic, where it's like, okay, I actually like this. And I mean, I will eat healthy food tasting like the best thing you'll ever imagine all day long over garbage. I'll help you. That's what I'm here for. I feel like I was born into Cyclone's life to help him out. We're going to get that negative Nelly thing going away. Gone. They're gonna be Susie Sunshine all the time.
You
like
know
me.
the episode of King of Queens when Ferrigno was going to train Kevin James's character Doug Heffernan?
No, but because I didn't watch it that much, but I have watched the show, so I know who you're talking about.
Okay, so Doug Heffernan wants to get back into football.
Okay.
So he gets Lou Ferrigno to start to train him. And within 30 minutes of the first training session, Doug Heffernan has Lou Ferrigno sitting on the couch playing Nintendo, eating Twinkies. I have done that to my trainers consistently. I have wrecked their lives.
It will not happen to me. I am a force to be reckoned with. So I don't take no for an answer, no ifs, ands, or buts, no maybes. We do whens, not ifs. Whens.
See, Rudy, my head might be too thick to listen to her. But you know what, Rudy? So is my fist, and I know where you live. I'm going to pull you out of your house tonight. I'm going to put you in a Darce choke, and then I'm going to drop kick you.
You can drop kick someone?
For Rudy Ash, I'll make it. I'll make
all due respect.
I will make an exception. I will try my damnedest.
See, you gotta love me. Nobody's ever gonna call me a phony. Like, this is the last thing I'll ever be called.
And another thing, earlier today, Eddie Hearn's dad, Barry, had a press conference in the other side of the pond. Dillian White is announced to take on Oscar Rivas. Now, here's the thing. Only in boxing can a 26-0 fighter be a no-name and also be such an underdog and have the better record. Because Dylan's 25-1, Rivas is 26-0. It's one fight difference, but he's sort of like an unknown. Rudy. Keep it up, Rudy. By the way, Frankie, who's also tatted up, I like her a lot. Yeah, Frankie, you know what?
Frankie.
You know what? Actually, the two
My
of you...
tattoos are completely covered tonight. I can take this up and show you quite a
The
bit.
two of you actually probably kind of bumped into each other at tattoo places.
Possibly. I had tattoos convention, tattoo
I
conventions.
can guarantee it. Figure me, but 5 inches tall.
Look, this is the one that I had all the laser tattoo removal done on. It's so swollen. My arm's so swollen. It looks diesel right now. I'll take it. I look huge.
She's the guy in the relationship. I'm the chick. That's what it is. You know,
For a skinny little chick, you know, with bad shoulders, I got some decent muscles. I can still kick your ass.
And on that note, before we get to all the MMA stuff, guys, it's coming to summertime, even though it's freezing cold out right now. You want a great t-shirt? Effective Aggression has them. Okay.
Facts.
So head over to effectiveaggression.com. Check out cyclonecomedy.com. See, this time I got it the right side. Yeah, I got it the right side. I have to, it's not that left, it's your other left. It's like me tying my shoes. It's this side. Check out cyclonecomedy.com. Psyche Prod's on Facebook. All right. And when we come back, we're going into the cage truly for all the crazy MMA action right after this.
Hi, I'm Jim Miller. This is Dan Morigliata. I'm Derek Brunson.
I'm Nick the Carney Lentz, and you're locked into the cage with Cyclone.
Okay, so there was a lot going on, incredibly, because it doesn't seem like there was a lot going on in the world of MMA. But here we go. Did you hear, as we were talking about One Championship before, what Shatri announced
What?
earlier today? He has instituted a new rule for his company.
I feel like I did hear it. You have to be in Asia for a year or some
Yes,
shit.
living in Asia.
To be a fighter for his company or to be working?
To be an agent
Okay.
for a fighter.
So, but wait, what happens to like Misha Tate, who's now the president or vice president of whatever she is? She's high up in there, and she's only lived there, I guess, now months.
What? Okay, well,
Good question.
DJ's manager is is Matt Hume, who's one of the ups of the company. So he's safe. He's there.
Yeah, that just doesn't make
What
any
about
sense.
Eddie Sage Northcutt?
They're gonna have to get new managers, maybe.
That's hard.
It's hard. What?
I would love to see it, like, off the top of my head, and even when I double check, I don't think anybody has Ali Abdelaziz as a manager from One Champ. I don't think he reps anyone there. But if he did, that would basically mean Ali would either have to give them up as a client or move to Asia for a year.
I think, if anything, because they have contracts and stuff that, being that the organization that they signed with had that as a stipulation, now that would be not a breach of contract, that would be a reason to get out of your contract. So, if anything, that's going to screw over all the agents, managers, and stuff of the guys from America.
And I would think, knowing Ali, I would think Aziz would go right to some type of a court.
Oh, I'm sure. Somebody's going to. They're
You
not going to.
can't tell me I can't. You can't tell me I got to move to Asia.
Yeah, nobody's going to stand for that. I don't see that holding any water for a while. Like, I can't. There's no way.
Although, I was in Japan for 6 months, one of my first acting jobs.
Okay.
And this beautiful mug appeared on a video game and on a magazine cover shoot.
Oh, nice.
So, now I can't read the magazine because it's all in Japanese, so they could have said, look at this fat effing American. I mean, that's probably what they said, let's be honest.
Oh, that was
Although I wasn't that fat
funny.
back when I did that job, so. But I asked my translator to take me to the sticks of Tokyo. And it was total, like, kickboxer type stuff.
Oh, that's cool.
And I was like, holy smokes. Bring me back to the hotel.
Yeah.
And right across from the hotel, it would be my luck. The hotel I got put up at was a McDonald's.
Oh, fair. Yeah, that's big over there. I have a friend that lives in China, and she said McDonald's is huge over there. Because I'm like, how do you get? She's like, it's a lot of American food here. It's just different. It's a little different.
Yeah, it's, and prices are cheaper.
Yeah.
And you could get sake anywhere.
Well, I don't drink, but,
I'm not supposed.
My problem, not yours.
According to my doctors, I'm not drinking either. Nah. Jim Beam straight out of a keg. Yeah. What's a keg? So what?
Jim Beam doesn't come in a keg. It only comes in a freaking bottle.
No, but
I
when
used
it's
to
in
drink.
still-
So I can tell you.
when it's in the brewery being made.
Oh, okay. That's a little different. I'm like, what? Drink it straight out the keg.
Just lay me underneath it. This is a question that I've died to ask you.
To me? Yes. What's up?
Okay, we all know the poopy, the duty poopy that TJ went through.
Oh, yes.
And is going through.
His own doing, but yes.
As my computer turned off, lovely, genius move, Cyclone. I can't turn chicks on, but I can turn a computer off.
There you go. That's unfortunate.
Yeah. Do you think that trainers, coaches, teammates should be penalized if they knowingly know what's going on with a fighter?
I think if anything, the athletic commissions should be looking into that, because they were thinking about bringing sanctions up on Ali when he didn't he bitch slap Covington or some shit, and they were like, oh, he can't do that, and he might not be able to. I'm not gonna tell him not to go to a fight. Crazy, get out of town. But I have to like. God, somebody's gonna get mad and catch feelings about what I'm about to say. There's no way his coaches didn't know. You don't know that your fighter's not stick. You don't know that your fighter's fucking not sticking. Excuse my language. A needle in their ass or their arm. I'm sorry. I'm saying it. I'm just gonna say it. Dwayne, the first person to come out and go, he has to quote the Bible like a fucking asshole who doesn't even follow it. Sorry, I'm sorry, but he doesn't. He doesn't follow his 4 agreements. I've sat and broke bread with a guy. He's a jerk. He's a real jerk. And he goes, everybody makes mistakes, and let the first man without sin to be the first one to cast a stone. Well, you should sit down, Mr. Dwayne Bag Ludwig, because you're not the nicest guy in the world either, and you are far from without sin. And neither is TJ Dillashaw. He knowingly took steroids. That's why they gave him 2 years. It wasn't because, they picked on him. No, when you take an EPO, you are injecting yourself. That cannot be a tainted supplement. There's no way. There's no way. He should be banned from the sport, in my personal opinion. And so should John Jones. You shouldn't be able to fight with picograms of shit in your body. So, the UFC, with their USADA in their pocket, really walks a fine line of like, what are you allowing? What are you condoning? What are you showing young fighters coming up that it's okay? It's okay if you're an asshole. We'll keep you around. You could be a Conor McGregor and do whatever you want. That's not right. It's not right. There's no sport of it anymore, It's for show. When Rory McDonald won that belt or won the defense of his belt the other night and people flipped out, well, no, that's how the UFC used to be. To be the champ, you got to beat the champ. Now it's, he who has enough following wins. It's borderline pathetic. So I have to actually sit there and give Scott Coker a ton of credit for following what used to be a golden rule in MMA, in professional mixed martial arts. You have to beat the champ to be the champ, and John Fitch didn't do enough to be the champion. That simple.
Now here's the thing. Here's where I come from on the whole steroid
I know I
thing.
went to 2 different things, but I do that sometimes.
I'm a hardliner such as yourself with the steroids.
Oh, there's no tolerance for me with that.
But I'll cut a guy some slack if you're in another country, like in Asia or something, and you eat some. Because here's the deal.
Things do happen, but they didn't happen to TJ Dillashaw. That guy's a snake and he's a scum. Things didn't happen. He happened.
But even if there's a banning for life, right? Mm-hmm. And we know the UFC, we know it can be done.
Oh, absolutely. It's happened to other people for the same things. Come on.
But I kind of think they would do it sort of like the way the legal system, you're going to jail for life without the possibility of parole. You know what? We're going to parole you in 15 years.
Well, but he'll be too old to fight then in that. You know what I mean? Like that's good. And again, then what are you showing people? Well, you could get away with it as long as we'll allow you to. It's just stupid. And it's walking a line of being very irresponsible with, guys that are going in there, putting their life on the line, fighting, coming out bloodied and battered. And, you're letting them get in there with a guy that's, questionably a freaking weapon. I mean, it's really, I don't agree with it. I think that, if they're going to use the USADA, if the UFC is going to continue to do that, then do it and do your damn job and do your due diligence. It's awful. And then you got guys like, Dwayne Ludwig that are just, let me just excuse it away. No, your dude got in there more than once on drugs, not on cocaine, which I don't agree with either, not on pot. He got in there as a loaded weapon and decided to fight a bunch of guys because he did it they retested his sample from Cody Garbrandt and he tested dirty. Like, how many people are going to excuse? There's no excuse. There's zero excuse for it.
Now, I don't know if you know this, but Jarrell Big Baby Miller was supposed to fight Anthony Joshua in his American debut at the Garden in June, and not only did Jarrell Miller, who, by the way, used to kickbox in Glory. He fought Mirko twice. Jarrell Miller complained everything that Anthony Joshua was taking roids.
Okay.
Jarrell was part of the WADA testing, which is
it's a branch,
and it's voluntary.
Yeah.
So if you pop on a voluntary thing, you're retarded.
Absolutely.
He popped for 3 different steroids.
Who?
Jarrell,
What a fucking idiot.
And EPO. So he popped for 4 things. So Eddie Hearn, who has gone to the mat for Jarrell Miller multiple times, when
people
he found
think
out,
he's great. Now I'd question his entire career.
He absolutely blew a gasket and said he wants Jarrell Miller banned for life. Period. End of sentence.
He should be banned for life.
No more.
No,
excuses.
he should. You can't make an excuse for that. That you are knowingly taking it, and you're okay with that, and your coaches and anybody that's okay with that has an issue with themselves too. Because at the end of the day, you want to win a fight, but at what cost? At what cost do you want to win a fight? Do you want to go in there and severely hurt the other person? That's like them continuing to allow Fallon Fox to fight. That, I don't even want to say something and get somebody really mad at me, but that person, I'm not even going to call it a woman, that person has no business fighting in a cage with women. You decide to get a sex change, I'm sorry, you're allowed. I am all for that, but you can't fight anymore. You know what I mean? You can't fight girls when you transitioned in well after puberty into your adult life. Fallon Fox transitioned in her 20s. You have the genetic makeup of a man. Like, no, you shouldn't be in there with girls. It's crazy. You know, all these little girls that are getting their wrestling dreams taken away from them. Do you see this all on the news? All these poor little girls that have worked their entire lives to be wrestlers and to go to states and college are getting beat by boys that are girls now. How, in what universe is that even okay? Like, make a own league, make their own division, like how they have the Special Olympics for people that have handicaps and disabilities. Make a trans division, because at this point you kind of have to, you know?
I actually think that would be a good. There's enough competition.
There is.
And I think that would be.
There absolutely is. The smartest thing you could do, the easiest way to get rid of walking the line of domestic violence is open their own division. And disclose, because she didn't disclose for a long time that she was a man first. She did not disclose, and that's a problem too for me. For me it is. Because, you know, you should, if you're going to get in a cage with a girl, you need to let them know, hey, by the way, once I was a dude, and it wasn't too long ago. It's walking a bad line. Do I think it's okay? You have to allow people to be people. You got to allow people to have a choice to do what they want in life. But then you have to say, okay, well, there's a consequence for your choice. You know what I mean? They're not allowed to compete in the Olympics with the other sex that they once were. You know that they are now. No, it's just not right. But again, it's happening all over the place. So, I mean, and that was crazy. I've seen many fights of Fallon Fox in there beating the snot out of girls, beating them up. Supposedly Ashley Evans Smith beat her up once, but, you know, I mean,
put her
listen.
in with Gabby Garcia.
Well, yeah, Gabby Garcia will demolish her. Gabby Garcia is like 4 times the size of me. I love that chick, but she's like a big kid. She's so nice and so friendly. Very nice girl.
Another point of fact. How do you feel about companies competing on the same night, such as what we just had, Bellator UFC same night?
The only reason why I don't like it is because then I gotta watch. I'm not a very techie person, you know what I mean? I gotta have like 30 apparatuses out to watch all this stuff. It's just annoying. What annoys me even more is when you see an amateur promotion put their fight card on the same night as a pro fight. Happens a lot, because then it's like, well, this is my job and I have to now miss, you know, a pro fight. So it's and I get it, because you're limited to certain nights and certain time, you know, the dates for the events. I get it. And you know what? With the UFC having an event every weekend now, practically, it's going to be very hard for anybody to not compete with them. But what's going to be cool is you're going to see what people are really watching now. Did more people watch the UFC or did more people watch Bellator? Because I was switching in between.
Right.
You know, I was not about not to with the main card of Bellator and I watched the entire UFC card. Their undercards are great. You know, that's the difference though, is that Bellator, and sorry for anybody if there's any promoters from Bellator watching, Dan Kitchen, I apologize, but Bellator's undercards are sketchy at best and put together by an amateur. Because the undercards they're usually not great fighters. And when they are, they're in New York because it's my friends that are fighting. And I've seen some really great ones. But the undercards on Bellator usually aren't great. Usually.
And incredibly low. I find them
Please
incredibly
let me say that,
low.
like, usually. Because my friend Lindsay Van Zant should have been a main card. She had a fantastic fight against Tabitha. I don't know her last name off the top of my head. She's on my Facebook. That was a fantastic fight. That should have been main card, without a question. And I've seen them bump undercard fights up to the main card because like somebody dropped off or whatever. That's happened to a couple of my friends, and I wish that had happened for Lindsay because her fight was fantastic. And you see that. You'll see like a really great undercard fight that you know should be not.
Right.
So Bellator's they really need to work on that, like what they consider to be a TV-worthy fight, because there's so many that they should and they don't. It's silly. You know what I mean?
See, as someone who loves matchmaking,
Yeah.
because you all know, guys, that's my freaking passion. Every article I write, I somehow turn an article into a matchmaking thing.
And well, there's something to be said for that. And you know, you don't want to watch an entire undercard of like, wow, is this for real? And also, Bellator doesn't put their undercard on TV. You have to watch it on DAZN or whatever.
They used to, and they do like rarely now.
I know.
Have it on the
Paramount Network.
Yeah.
Now let's not even like completely. This is like not even arguable. It's true. MMA is officially the most expensive sport to watch. Officially, because you have to pay for UFC Fight Pass, $10 a month, $9.99. You have to pay for DAZN if you want to watch certain Bellator events, which is just not right either. That's not fair, and that's another $10 a month. ESPN Plus is $4.99, which that's the one that I actually do subscribe to because it's the best one out of all of them, and it's $4.99 versus whatever. And actually they did like a whole, if you buy the pay-per-view, a couple of them they're going to have where you can then also you'll get the year with them. So they're really, ESPN is trying. None of the rest of them are. So it's like I'm not paying. It's stupid, and it's not right to the fans that don't have money to be paying for fights and fights and fights and fights and fights. You know, if they don't can't have the fight at their house on pay-per-view, then they got to go out. So like, how many nights out can you afford? You know what I mean? So I feel bad for the regular fans is really who I feel bad for, because the people like me that are reporters, I have to do this no matter what. I'm watching it no matter what. You know what I mean? So I do. I feel bad for the fans. I feel bad for people that are, you know, in other countries that might not have access to the stuff that we have. They might not have access to being able to afford the ability to watch that. So I do. It's, you know, it's shitty.
And I may or may not watch sneakily things under the radar.
Everybody watches them under the radar. Yo, did they invent things?
Wink, wink. Sometimes I may or may not. I will not hear. I will not deny. I will not confirm.
We do this.
Yep. As far as the two cards this past weekend.
Yeah.
One fight from each. One Bellator fight, one UFC fight. Which two surprised you?
Oh, surprised me. I was going to say which was my favorite. It didn't surprise me. I can't say anything really surprises me, to be honest with you. But what I really loved, what was one of my favorite fights on the cards, besides Jim Miller, that was just amazing, but Glover Teixeira, I love him. Everybody thought he was going to lose. I'm like, no way. He's after his last fight, he's not going to lose anytime soon. And he's not, you know, out of the game yet. He's definitely, like you said, he's getting up there. He's got, you know, not too many fights, but that was a great night for him. Great fight. I was super excited with that and impressed. Jim Miller, super excited for him and impressed. But I loved Ali Malay's fight with Vitor Ortega. I loved that elbow. Was vicious. That cut was just like, what? It was like watching Heather Hardy's face get split open, like when her nose got whatever, broken, not split open. The fact that she wanted to keep going was amazing. I was sitting there watching it. I'm like, that's a badass bitch. You know, she's cool. Anybody that's going to keep going with a busted nose like that and doesn't want to stop, hats off. All credit to her.
I think for me, the two crazy moments that I was like, oh, wow. Phil Davis beating Liam McGarry.
I'm friends with Liam. I've sat and talked to him. I heard about that. I didn't watch it.
I really thought, and he busted. He broke his jaw.
He broke his jaw. I know. I commented. I'm like, Liam, no worries. And he was such a good spirits after. Liam's a great guy. Great. Liam McGarry, if you're watching, you're one of my favorite people. You're awesome.
A fellow Brooklyn boy too.
Yeah, Liam's awesome. He's a great guy. I met him through Mark Matthews. Another great man.
And on the UFC card, as far as I'm concerned, Carla Esparza.
I knew she was going to beat Verna. I knew she was going to beat Verna. A lot of people didn't think she was, but I was like experience all day long.
The one thing that bothers me about that is Verna Janarova is a champ.
Yes.
She's holding a strap in Invicta.
Oh, you think that they should have had her fight for the title?
No, but I don't understand the logic of vacating your belt when you know you're going to have a climb. Even if you're done with Invicta and you're now in the UFC permanently and that's your path. It's going to be so tough on her. I don't know if Verna could hang with the top 115ers in the UFC. I mean, look, in Invicta, she can. She's Queen Bee. She can handle them, but...
She might be able to. This will be a good learning lesson for her, you know. Like, don't be so overconfident in your game, and, you know, because she did have a really great streak over there in Invicta. But, you know, I think that'll be a really big learning lesson for her. I think that Felicia's going to just transition. Oh, my gosh, you want to hear something really funny?
Sure.
So Felicia and I, we've interviewed quite a few times. I love Felicia Spencer. Felicia, if you're watching, you know you're my homegirl. You know you're one of my favorite people. First thing I said to her was, you got perfect teeth. She's got the nicest teeth in the entire world. So we didn't...
I like you too, Felicia.
He likes you. She's my homegirl. So we were talking and we did the interview when she dropped that she was fighting Megan. And I said... And I don't think my editor cut it out. And I was like, hey, you know, I'm like, I would never be so foolish as to ask you your game plan, because that's just silly when anybody does that. It really is. You should never ask a fighter that. But I said, I will tell you, if I was you, I would just take her down, pressure her. I said, because at the end of the day, if you watch her fight with Holly Holm, it showed she's got a lot of holes in her game. And I said, I think you could definitely take advantage of that. Megan watched the entire interview and blocked me immediately. I have never interacted with her on Twitter. I met her in person. at the tattoo convention. Dude, get thicker skin. You're a professional fighter on the UFC. If you can't take what I say, sorry for you, Megan.
Oh my God, you're the female Luke Thomas. I'm not even good enough to. Have I been blocked? I know I've been blocked by like 800
I was like, I
people.
can't believe I got under her skin that bad. I didn't even say anything really bad. And I've never said anything bad about her online. You know what I mean? Like I've actually said very nice things about her, and I was like, wow, I'm.
Daniel Cormier.
Pretty special person.
DC blocked me for a while, and then he unblocked me.
She'll unblock me. They always do. They always come back.
But,
they always come back.
Unless the she is with this he, and then they just stay the hell away.
No, she might. You never know. She might have taken some serious offense to. But you know what? It's not like I sat there and said, you know, like the shit people saying when she fought Kat Zingano, you know, about her feet and her toenails. And I didn't go into that at all. I just went into her lack of ground game. And that's not, it's not me talking shit. It's talking truth. And if you can't handle that, Megan Anderson, I feel very bad for you. And we could sit down and have a very nice conversation in person about that. Don't be a sissy and block me.
I'd like to be in the middle of that conversation.
Sissy Sally. Don't be like that.
Oh.
Could you imagine if she's watching this? She's going to be like, this bitch, but over in her little accent. This Kerry Styler, who does she think she is?
That Australian, that's a hot accent.
Oh, I love her accent. I actually have a lot of respect for her. She was in the Australian Army before she was a professional fighter. So I have a ton of respect for her as a human being, and I have respect for her as a fighter. I think she's an incredible fighter. I just think she needs to work on her ground game, and if that's offensive, my apologies, but whatever. Oh, well.
The only other thing that stood out to me is Aviv Ghazali, Chaim's son. I got to give a shout out because for the Bellator card in New York, I hit up Chaim, right? I'm like, us Jews got to stick together. Can I get a Team Ghazali T-shirt?
Yeah.
So in front of all my friends, he looks at me, he goes, with a deep Israeli accent, he goes, "My shirts are never going to fit you."
That's awesome.
I'm like, really? So in front of all my
That's
friends,
awesome.
he's gonna like boom roast me.
Yeah,
You know.
that's awesome.
Oh, Ben Askren blocked me too.
He's a weirdo. He is weird. He is a bizarre individual. I mean, but like, who cares? I mean, honestly, I really don't care if I get blocked by a fighter. It just doesn't bother me. It really is the last thing that I'm worried about is that she blocked me. Keep it moving.
So that being said, I want to remind all you guys coming up in a little while is pinups, cool cats, and comics with Dennis Newman. Check out Effective Aggression, pretty please, and also pretty please, I'm begging you, share the show, please.
Damn it!
Come
share
on.
it.
I'm not asking you for money. I'm asking you to click share.
Please.
How hard is it to push a button?
I share.
Yeah. I'm
Sharing's
pushing your
caring.
buttons constantly.
Sharing is caring.
That's right. And I know you guys don't care, but please, just this once, care for me, please.
Share.
Anyways, and when we come back, we're gonna play some games.
I'm Dennis Bermudez. Hi, I'm a creepy Ian McCall.
Yo, I'm Kelvin Gastelum.
This is Mark Goldberg. Yo, I'm the world's most dangerous man, Hall of Famer Ken Shamrock, and you're getting tapped out in the cage with Cyclone.
Happy anniversary, happy anniversary, happy anniversary, happy anniversary.
Okay, so we have 2 birthdays today. Both people turning 36. I don't even remember being 36.
I do.
I'm so old. I am
Wasn't
so
too long
old.
ago, but I remember it.
I'm gonna be dead soon.
Wow, when people say shit like that, it makes me want to just dart out of the room. Come on, man. I'm sitting right next to you. I don't need that lightning bolt to strike me. Come on.
A lightning bolt's not going to strike me. The world's going to open up really, really large so I can
I
fit
don't
through the hole.
want that happening either. I'm too close to you right now.
I'm lucky the floor can hold
Stop
me.
with that negative shit.
But I'm positive it's going to happen. So Valerie Letourneau turns
happy birthday.
36, as does Tim Gorman. But you know, every time I hear Valerie's name, I think of the Letourneau watches.
Okay.
I keep wanting to one day ask her does your family own those watches? The company?
Look it up. Research it.
See, but that
time.
ruins the fun of asking a question that has absolutely no point
To M&A.
to ask them. Well, they look at me and go, "What the hell is wrong with you?"
Well, why not?
So like when Dana looked at the schmo.
Which one?
The guy, the reporter, the schmo. There's a reporter named The Schmo.
Oh.
And he actually works with Paulie Malignaggi.
Okay.
And at the Atlanta press conference, he got up to Dana Les and he asked the most ridiculous, stupid question. And Dana goes, "What the fuck was that?" And it was a schmo. And the only other thing going down today was 2 years today. To see, just proof that I watch all these oddball organizations. Fight Star Championship 9 happened today in London. And it was highlighted. The highlight of that night was Jack Young, who then after he got smoked like a cheap cigarette on this card, he then got signed to Cage Warriors.
Okay.
So that went down today.
Cool. Cage Warriors was dope this weekend. Holy cannoli. Shout out to Corey McKenna. I love her. She had a really fantastic evening on Saturday. Yeah.
Her, Patty the Batty.
Did you watch Corey McKenna? I love her. Jack Shore. I've interviewed with him. I've interviewed with Corey.
Also, Meatball Molly, obviously.
She's not. She doesn't fight with him now. I'm talking about like Saturday night.
Yeah.
I'm like. It was this weekend.
They
It was
are
great.
definitely.
Cage Warriors has some major upcoming people. Major.
They do.
That is an organization that people should really be watching out for. Cool little fact, MMA UK happens to be their biggest outlet that covers them, I would say. We're there at every show that they do. We have a pretty good spread over there at MMA UK. We do a lot of good stuff.
I
Cool people.
swear,
We're a bunch of cool cats.
I
think
see,
I'm their
and you
only
know what?
I'm the only American, and Richie Cranny from Whip to Warrior calls me the Long Island legend. I like all the shit that people say.
I would kill to be in an organization where I was respected.
You weren't respected this week?
Well,
That's a
besides,
Like, 'cause that's a problem.
there's issues with me and who I write for.
Well, listen, there's going to be issues with everybody in the entire world, right? I've written for people that I don't feel were extremely nice to me, that I actually have a great rapport with at this point. So it's, life has a funny way of going full circle, and things might not work out at the moment, or, you might not be someone's cup of tea and they might not be yours, but that's okay because that's their problem, not yours. Not everybody's going to be for you, but you just got to do the best you can do.
So, pick a number between 1 and 3.
Well, that's pretty 2.
Kenny Hodgkins, you're going to win a very special Cobra Kai prize. I'm not telling you what it is. You'll see when it gets to you in the mail. But here's Kenny's question first.
Bring it.
And we gotta answer these really fast.
I got you.
So, like rapid fire.
I got you. Rapid fire. Bring it.
What is your overall take on the ESPN's coverage so far for the UFC?
Their commentators are awful, but I do like the coverage in general.
See,
their commentators are awful. Like theirs, not
I don't like that now Ariel is now upstairs, at every event, with Chael and
I like him. I have a lot of respect for him. So I love Chael Sonnen. I do. Chael's he's got such a great personality. He's such a nice guy.
That's my
He's been
only
through hell
downfall.
he's been through hell on earth, that guy. I have a special place in my heart for Chael Sonnen.
Question number 3 came from a new entrance into the raffle family, and please,
Hello,
Augie,
new member.
Augie, please enter more, even though you didn't win this time. How high is Greg Hardy's ceiling?
How high is what?
Greg Hardy's ceiling.
Ugh, I don't like him at all.
Either do
I didn't
like him when he was in the
I didn't watch
NFL.
football. I'm not a football person, but anybody that hits a woman and gets away with it, they've cut people from the UFC for that before. They've given people shit for that before in the UFC. But Greg Hardy is okay because he's a name. I don't think his ceiling's not going to be that high. I don't think that he's going to last that very long. Personal opinion.
I think if he gets a top ranked guy anywhere in the top 10,
He's going to get knocked out.
He is.
He's going to do great on the no names. And that was great with Dana White. Was like, who was this guy? You're the promoter and you don't know who he fought? Fixed fight. Set up.
And question number 1 comes from Mr. Rudy Asher. Ha ha! You did not win.
What's up,
Nanner.
Rudy?
Who do you currently see as the face of the UFC?
Currently?
Yeah.
Oh man. They really don't have one.
I think the push is for Israel.
I don't think so. I don't think he's. I think he will not beat John Jones. That's for damn sure. Unfortunately for him. I think that if John Jones was his next fight, he's going to end up. They're going to push the shit out of him. Rose isn't active enough to be pushed. I can't wait to see what happens with the featherweight division, and I'm really hoping Felicia gets a big push from them because she's so pretty.
And on that note, guys,
Sorry.
Next week, because we are out of time, I want to remind everyone, just because you guys out there are not athletes doesn't mean you can't be an athletic supporter. I'll do Cobra Kai style. Bye. Bye.